expected to win the grand final at the first time of asking, but having beaten Warrington, having beaten Leeds, having fallen to Hull Kingston Rovers very narrowly, they are certainly a team capable of giving anyone a handful and a real challenge in the Super League. We're underway. It is the first boot off the ball, and it will be Wakefield who have early possession here as well. A chance to mark their intent in these early stages. And both teams dressed in what you might call a traditional-looking outfit as well. Certainly the traditional colours. The tricolour of Wakefield, the red, white and blue. The red and white of Leigh. So early settlers as Wakefield look to find position. Liam Hudd out of dummy half will scamper down this left-hand side, and this is keen-looking stuff from Russell. He offloads despite the attentions of O'Brien, and it's kept alive here. Lino dropping it back on the inside again, and they will find themselves in Bangalore just about 5 metres short of that halfway line. Here comes Pitts. Wrapped up well enough by 2-3 Leigh defenders. And it is the last play. Last play. So back it comes for Russell to let that ball fly high up in the air. Off the boot, Armstrong catches. And as we so often see when we've got full-backs on the field with Armstrong's ability, it's the height of the ball and the strength of the chase that really matters.
Yeah, it was a good first set from Wakefield. I think we've got an early indication there of what we've been seeing, or we're going to see again this season, what we've been seeing this season. It's a side that's got a great deal of confidence in its own ball-playing ability. They're prepared to attack the channels, and they're not going to hang around to see what questions Leigh ask of them.
Here's Dwyer out of dummy half. We don't know the health and fitness of Ipape, but were you surprised to see that selection? Dwyer very often used as an impact sub with his startling abilities.
Yeah, I think they're more interchangeable than perhaps people think. I think Edwin Ipape off the bench every now and again is a pretty shrewd move by Adrian Lamb.
There's a kick from Lachlan Lamb, and Rourke is underneath it, so chance to shine for him, but it's a very efficient Leigh chase as well, so he ain't going far before they catch and collar him.
Yeah, and look, expect plenty of beans in the middle third of this field from Leigh in defence. Expect plenty of shoulders going into tackles, drive after contact, because they were beaten in that middle third of the field last week. It all ends up, and I don't think you'll be able to say that often this year.
John Stone. It's getting clearer out there, isn't it? It's like somebody's cleaning your glasses, because the smoke's drifted away, and it looks HD at the moment, doesn't it? Absolutely pin sharp. As they search through Bangalore for that halfway line. Here's Hudd again, and McMeekan is there in support, and a carry from him as well. They're making decent yards again here, but 40 yards out. It's going to be another kick, this time off the boot of Russell. Again, it's a big left footer. It's a similar pattern to what we saw earlier. High kick, good chase. Armstrong penned, and Leigh having to start temper on their own line again. Yeah,
and crucially as well, they're giving David Armstrong no room to move. We highlighted him before the game. We said he is one of the sport's faster men. That's an understatement. He is rapid, so good tactics early on, positionally, but also the kick chase.
So Leigh looking for a few yards. Good crowd here tonight as well. It's a decent one for a Friday night, because Wakefield have travelled in some numbers. And given the offering that if you buy a ticket for this game and buy a ticket for the cup tie between these two, then it's free travel provided by the club. So quite a few are taking option. Oh, Lamb's gone out of the kick from the 40-metre mark, but it's angled back towards the middle, so Rourke's got some work to do. And absolutely battered into by Frankie Holton.
The chase they put on that was phenomenal. You could see the intent here in the defensive line. Dwyer out with 2 or 3 either side of him. They're going to really ramp up this set. You feel they sniffed something already.
He's hitting a solid wall, didn't he, as he brought it forward. This is Hudd waiting again at the feet of Cam Scott. Searching effort, but not too much yards made. Hudd again, and McMeekan, and Lino, and offering it back on the inside to Rourke, who's just hanging around looking for some support play, but they're on the last, they're inside their own 40 again. Lino angling it, a bounce though skids into the arms of Armstrong, and he's happy to offer that ball on and see if Hodgson can make an impression on his way back. 1 or 2 still struggling to get behind to play the ball here as well, but that's a good strong carry. And I've seen you take it closer still to that halfway line, and Dwyer at a dummy half, seeing a little glimmer of daylight ahead and trying to take advantage, just giving Leigh plenty of momentum here. Ethan O'Neill has been an eye-catching back row forward since his arrival at the start of this season. Dwyer.
Yeah, it's off the back of a great run from Tessinu, wasn't it?
Oh, here's Lamb, and has support, and Holton. Oh, he's given it away, thrown it straight into the hands of McMeekan, who has carried that further than he probably expected. A faster man might have been going for the try line.
Well, once upon a time, Mike McMeekan would have gone the length of the field. He's progressed throughout his career in the front row. Here go Wakefield again, though.
Here's Pratt, Ollie Pratt. Oh, and he's lost it, has he? Oh, he's regathered. If he did lose, he got it back. Nothing injudicious seen from the referee's point of view. So 3 plays to go. Wakefield find themselves inside their opponent's half. Hood, it's going to take an age, this. Eventually, Hood picks up. And Hamlin Ueli. It's a bit of a juggle, but he kept a hold of it. Meantime, Wakefield are threatening this Leigh line here. They're 15-20 metres out. They've got 1 play to go. Lino will stick it up there. Armstrong underneath it, and he has to be good. He's skittled in mid-air. There's all kinds of arms and apologies. And what's the referee given here? I think he's given a decision Wakefield's way, has he?
Yeah, he's given the knock-on. He's given the knock-on from David Armstrong, but you know, it looked to me like he certainly had his feet taken out while he was in the air. It's how that happened, I think, is going to be the significant factor. So it's a great lead, great take initially, and then Wakefield players have come in and made contact with him whilst he's in the air. I mean, I'm surprised about that. If I'm honest, I'm surprised that's not a penalty.
Well, what a chance here. What an opportunity here for Wakefield. Full set, 7 minutes play. Full set, 10 from that Leigh line. What can he make of this? Jay Pitts looking like he could be the important factor here. He collects the ball and helps it on its way. Little dummy shown by Russell. Tries to skip back on the inside, but finding plenty of resistance. This now is Hood. McMeekan strains things up, just tries to push that big bulk over the line. Held back by 3. But again, just having a little sneaky look around, and he's going flat and wide, and it's going to be Hamlin Ueli who hasn't got it down. Well, the Wakefield fans behind the posts are celebrating. Hamlin Ueli saying he thinks it is. No try on the field. So let's hear from the video referee for the first time tonight. Here's Chris Kendall.
Okay, it's tackle 2. We have a live call of no try. Wakefield player is in possession of the ball. Does the ball ever get to the ground? Can't tell on that angle. I lose sight of the ball. We'll have a look on camera 8. Wakefield player is in possession. Okay, again, that's limited what I can see on that angle. Go to camera 9. Did camera 9 show me anything else? Okay, the ball is in his possession. It certainly is very close on that angle. But on this angle, I have insufficient evidence. There may be a hand under the ball. I'll just go through all the angles to see if I can see anything else. Lamb's hand may be under the ball. That angle is going to be no good. See if you see anything on camera 1. Okay, given that the live call is no try, I have insufficient evidence to overturn the live call. I've made my decision.
Well, I mean, it's a factor so often, isn't it? Referee on the field, on his judgment, and the video referee can't change that.
Yeah, look, you know, I don't like this. I never have. I think we get rid of the try, no try. If the referee's unsure, he's unsure. You hand it off to the video referee. There's a tries ruled out. If the video referee is unsure, you know, here's what I would posit: you benefit the attacking side as you would if it's a simultaneous grounding of a ball in goal. You know, I really think it's an area of our game that we can do so much to improve.
Well, the second prize for Wakefield is they retain possession and they still have an attacking position. So there's still an opportunity here. Couple of plays to go as well in this set. This is Hood looking left, and McMeekan pops it up over the top, and Ollie Russell is a grateful recipient, and the Wakefield fans behind the sticks are going bananas. What a start for their side. They lead here by 4 points to 0.
And it didn't take long, did it, to get redemption, to seek redemption for Wakefield Trinity. And Mike McMeekan, who's already been heavily involved both ends of the field in everything Wakefield done, have got Darryl Powell's men off to a flyer. It's just another one of those short, trademark, characteristic runs, but this time there's an arm that arcs out over the top, and Ollie Russell, he's smart, he's Ollie Russell, because he knows you follow those big men around, you're going to pick up the crumbs every now and again. Johnny on the spot, first try, first blood, visiting team. That's a fair response. Great start from Trinity.
I think it's been a while, you know. I think you're looking back to August 2022, the last time Ollie Russell scored a try against Castleford for Huddersfield. And that will be his first try for his new club as well. So what a start, and what a chance here for Lino to add another 2. Max Joad, of course, the regular kicker, not in the 17 tonight for Wakefield, so Lino's been there a time or two in this position, so he's no stranger to try and add the conversion. Settling himself, the Wakefield fans behind the sticks remaining as still as they can be in order not to put him off. Rolling forward, and now they'll be animated with arms in the air to celebrate a conversion. 2 added to the 4, and 6 points to 0. Wakefield lead.
That's a great conversion by Lino, not the regular goal kicker, as you said. Iced the kick, 6-0, and he gets the conversion because of that piece of play. The build-up work from Mike McMeekan was outstanding. The finish from Ollie Russell, well, he may not score too often. As you said, it's been a long time between drinks, but you feel that's a really significant score for them. Away from home, against the second-place Leopards. Great start.
Well, Leigh, as we mentioned earlier, a little stung. Isn't this very Darryl Powell, the way that Wakefield are bringing it out there? Leigh stung by that defeat last week. Just a little bit of a knock of confidence for the first time this year. Needing now to show a bit of character. That's a reach by Lino, who's done very well. They're flowing forward again. Hanging up.
And that's the word as well, the flowing. You can see really early on, they've got into the groove, Wakefield. They do not mind a pass, this team. Really confident in their own ability in possession.
It's Hamlin Ueli, who's held up just on that halfway line. Back it comes to Lino. Lino looking for the angle, looking for the depth, but the bounce springs into the arms of Armstrong, and he, in turn, springs into action. But again, chase is good. Just needs one player to drop off, doesn't it, in those situations? And it's Leigh who dropped off there, and they've given the ball away, and Wakefield again are gifted excellent position here. Well, they took advantage first time around. What about here and now? Hamlin Ueli again, just dragging defenders closer to that goal line. It's Hood who stands and waits. Russell dropping it back off again, and Ollie Pratt. We know about his abilities with the footwork and his sense of where the line is. And a pick up by Hood, and it's McMeekan. Oh, the door was wide open. Leigh defenders were almost stationary, and McMeekan takes the opportunity, takes the invitation, and Wakefield, would you believe it, have a second.
Oh, this will be converted as well. 2-score lead inside a dozen minutes. What a blistering start, but look, you've got to say, Leigh have pressed the self-destruct button. It's Tessinu who fumbled the catch from dummy half, gifted Wakefield position and possession, and some lovely smarts from dummy half from Liam Hood. Just gets across the face of a couple of defenders, and he's got their ever-willing, ever-reliable Mike McMeekan as his outlet. He was provider a couple of minutes ago for Ollie Russell, try scorer this time. And I'd argue this is probably as good a start to a season as I've seen from Mike McMeekan. He's entering the veteran stage of his career, but boy, he's playing well. He's playing big minutes for Trinity, and he's effective as well.
30 years of age since you asked Mike McMeekan. You say veteran, others say prime. Prime of his career. Lino, well, the last conversion wasn't the most testing. This one is a little more simple again, so you back him. A little rock and a roll, and up he strides, and it is 2 out of 2 off the boot, and 12 points to 0. Wakefield lead here, John Wells.
Yeah, look, they may have been gifted the position, but given that invitation, they did not need asking twice, did they? Lovely subtle hands from Liam Hood, and Mike McMeekan over for the second try. And you see David Armstrong, and in particular Isaac Leo, just get pulled in. The space open for McMeekan. And 12-0, nothing less than they deserve. I think they've come with a great attitude this evening.
And from Adrian Lamb's consternation, Leigh are leaking points at the moment. 30 without reply last week, 12 without reply already, and again there is ground being chewed up by this Wakefield side. Rourke on that last occasion. Russell comes blasting in. This is Hood. Again, stout carry. Leigh going backwards at the moment. Scott will play. Hood picks up. Looks right again. Mangana up and plays. Slung back to the middle and Pitts. Offered here for Hamlin Ueli, who's pushing hard. Good meters after contact. 25 metres to cover, but only one play to go. So it is with Lino. Test is up there. Oh, and it's gathered back, and Pitts still 5. It's still the 5th tackle, and I think in the end it was an attempted kick by Scott, but it's come to nothing. But there was a bit of panic in the Leigh defence there. Yeah,
just got a little bit messy in it towards the end for Wakefield, but more enterprising stuff from the visitors, and I think they've taken the lead from what Hull KR did last week. As I said, this Leigh pack, which I didn't think I'd be saying too often on the evidence of the first 4 rounds, they got well and truly turned over last week in the middle, and Wakefield are going right back at that same area of the field and having great success as well.
Here's Hughes down the middle. The absence of some bigger characters, it's a role he's had to adopt in recent weeks. Liu. Taken on by Trout. Those are some of the matches you can catch, of course, what remains of this weekend. Salford, we're told their players have not been paid again this week, but they will take to the pitch on Sunday, so that's good news. One last play. Stuck up by O'Brien, and Rourke towering with his leap, and a good take.
Cool as you like from Josh Rourke. As I said, real classy players, got all the tools, looked calm, didn't he? Didn't take his eye off the ball. And it's such a good feeling that, when you've got somebody at the back, the ball goes over your head as a forward, and you've got somebody who you know is as reliable as Rourke is.
Well, there's a raucous nature to the noise at the moment. Leigh fans trying to urge their side to muscle up in defence here. Wakefield fans at the other end absolutely loving what they're watching so far. It's not just a winning side they're watching at the moment, it's an attractive team that's playing well. It's every element you'd want as a rugby league fan, isn't it? Victory and an easy on the eye approach. Armstrong threatening, first time tonight he's had a chance to threaten, and it will be a penalty. Mike McMeekan with a second in after the tackle was complete.
Yeah, just that injection of pace, wasn't it, as he tried to skirt the defensive line, and the referee's gesticulating that it was a re-entry in the play the ball after a player was tackled, so that's a second effort. But that's down to Armstrong. Just injected that little bit of pace. It makes the tackler uncertain. Just couldn't resist the temptation to drop back on. So
Leigh looking for a big response here. Isaac Liu. Here's Dwyer. And now Jack Hughes. Game 5,000, of course, kicked off a little earlier than us tonight. 6-6, the latest score in that game. Leeds with that very good win against Wigan last week. A short ball! doorstep of Myla Hanley. Isn't he full of class? Absolutely stuffed full of class. Celebrates in front of those Leigh fans. Leigh have a response, and they needed it.
Yeah, what a well-taken try as well. There was some lovely set-up play out the back. It was Gareth O'Brien that orchestrated it. He had David Armstrong, the really threatening, speedy fullback as a foil, and then just hands the ball out the front door to Myla Hanley, who runs a great line. It's a brilliant try, well worked, well crafted, and it's a good response. They needed one, didn't they? It was a good response, good riposte from the home side. We take another look at the role of David Armstrong here. He pulls off Oliver Pratt, the defender, and opens up the space for Myla Hanley to waltz through untouched. You know there's an issue there, you know something's worked well or come apart badly in defence when someone walks through untouched, and I think that is the former. That man and David Armstrong, they sold the most outrageous play to the Wakefield left edge defence.
So O'Brien to narrow the gap to just one score, and he does just that. It is 6 points for Leigh, and it is 12 for Wakefield.
Yeah, really smart work. Hanley, who scores the points, but look, I think massive credit here to the work of Gareth O'Brien in the build-up. He pulled David Armstrong to one side of the field, he wanted him on his shoulder, and he used him to sell that dummy to Oliver Pratt in the centres. The young man took it, and Hanley has reduced this to a one-score game. You get the feeling there may be a few more of these.
Yeah, this is. We say it sometimes in hope rather than expectation, but today I think we can confidently predict this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good game. It's started really well. Lamb has to cover some ground to get there, and just get his forwards moving forward again. Hanley, by the way, that's the 7th try of the season in all competitions for Myla Hanley. He was blistering at the start of last year. 10 tries in the opening 12 games last year. Well, he's on a similar course here, but Leigh have knocked on. Well, they're challenging. Referee was about to explain it to Lachlan Lamb. He didn't want the explanation. He wanted to make the challenge. So let's hear from the video referee.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Leigh are challenging the decision of a knock-on. Okay, the player is in possession of the ball. Okay, bearing in mind the Leigh player uses his other arm to push himself up off the ball. He has to pick that arm up. His first obligation is to pick his arm up and get to his feet. He's rushing the play of the ball, and that's why the Wakefield man is still in collision. His challenge unsuccessful.
Well, if only they'd waited for the explanation, they might not have made the challenge. But there you hear it. Challenge lost. Wakefield will have it back again here.
Yep, so that's classed as an incorrect play the ball. Isaac Leo is still arguing the case. But the reality is, Adrian Lamb's got to watch his side defend for another set. Yeah, it's one of the less clear-cut decisions, I will say that.
Well, I suspect the challenge was on why the ball was kicked forward. Anyway.
But he wasn't off balance, was he, Isaac Leo?
No.
He had made it.
And maybe that's why they were challenging, because they thought there was interference. But it came before that, didn't it, with the arm on the ground? Anyway, here we go. Lino across the line, drops it back on the inside again, and Scott is trying to straighten things up. 4 plays to go. Hood at dummy half. Pitts just to his left. Offered back inside for Hamlin Ueli. 3 gone. Hood again. McMeekan. Big strides, big effort. And that big barrelling chest of his, threatening to rip through those Leigh defenders. Hood goes off quickly and goes wide again. And Leigh have got to be sharp here in defence. They've got to be switched on, because Wakefield are asking plenty of questions. Hood again, and a little 1-2, gets it back. Russell tries to twist and turn, he's going to be held up. But if you have to hand the ball over, just about the place to hand it.
Yep. Probably an inch or two better he could have gone, but that's, yeah, you're right, it's a decent end to a set once again. They don't get points, but they get an opportunity here really now to make life difficult for the Leigh Leopards, and I'll be honest, I don't think they haven't exactly excelled in this area, have they? This guy's been quiet. Tessie New, he has got 35 tackle busts, tied second in Super League. He's been incredibly quiet so far this game.
Dwyer strides up, and Leigh looking to exit stage left as quickly as they possibly can. Hudson down. There's Holton. Dwyer. Offered back on the inside for Ethan O'Neill. Dwyer picking. Hughes again, right down the centre. There's no obstruction there from Trout through the line, the referee said, so that was all okay. They have at least found themselves inside their opponent's half, but they've run out of tackles, so Lamb will kick. Now this high, and Rourke underneath it again, safe as houses. Looking back at the oncoming line, and again Johnstone just rattled to the ground. But again, you know, it's we'll have a look, we'll inspect the intent of the oncoming defenders with that pass, not just a simple take up and take the tackle. Russell. Here's Scott. And Hood marching into position again. In terms of breaks and eye-catching moments, the game just in a bit of a lull at the moment, but it'll reignite. You can be sure of that. And here's Lino trying to light that blue touch paper. Kai Rodwell has come onto the field for Wakefield, by the way. Hamlin Ueli is the man who's gone off. There's a take by Keenan Brand, and Brand searching and skipping away and almost finding a route.
Well, I'll tell you what, he could have found a pass there as well. I think he had two players on the outside of him who could have made an awful lot more of that tackle than he did.
Move, Mike! Hold, wait!
It's a decent carry.
Free! Move now!
Ipape on the field as well. You'll have spotted his lively presence.
Oh, Tuatavakis just sent Mason Lino flying 5 metres backwards.
Oh, and here comes Ipape, and he can certainly add a bit of magic to the situation. Started with a spring and a sprint, and it ended with a real tussle to gain those extra yards. But here comes the last. O'Brien puts it high in the air. Rourke's up there. He doesn't make contact. The ball bounces, and Wakefield will claim it back. There was no contact from Rourke, and so there's no knock-on, and Wakefield get a bit of luck.
Yeah, Frankie Holton right up in Josh Rourke's grill, but Marty Russell does really well. Follows the ball, secures possession for Wakefield, but an early shot across the bow. The first touch, I think, that Edwin Ipape had was a 20-metre burst, and now he's getting stuck in defence as well.
Hood spinning it back towards the middle again. Here's Pitts.
Move, Isaac, work!
He's done time and distance, hasn't he, at Wakefield? Jay Pitts. Down the years.
5, move and square
Slung away for Russell. It's a booted high. Armstrong with a catch, and he can't get away from what comes his way. Rourke. Not opposite numbers in numerically, but opposite numbers positionally. Ipape. Lamb. He's trying to create something on that far side again through the footwork of Hodgson on that occasion. Ipape picks up again. There's O'Brien. Liu. And, just like a rucksack, carrying a couple on his back, an extra yard or two. Ipape, here's O'Brien. Takes up the sprint, and Lamb is quick here. And Hanley gets a wonderful pass away, and Keenan Brand with a step back on the inside. Threatened to become a Brand sandwich between two Wakefield defenders, but somehow he's muscled through. Referee thinks it's a try, and we're going to the video referee for confirmation, one way or the other.
Okay, we have a live call of try. We're checking the grounding. Player is in possession of the ball. He's in the field of play. It's a fair challenge by Wakefield. And the ball appears to be down. I'm just going to check the opposite angle. Yeah, camera 8's going to be my best. He's in possession of the ball. And the ball is on the ground. I've viewed the angles I need. I've made my decision.
Well, it took some finishing, but boy, was it finished. He's limping a little as he gets back to position, but for his pains, the big screen is going to reveal that he's got to try. And from 12-0 down, Leigh Leopards find themselves back within 2. And O'Brien conversion away from being level again.
Now it's a brilliant, bold last tackle, overcall from Lachlan Lamb. Played a shorter side, and they managed to create the overlap to unleash Keenan Brand down the edge. There's a lot to like about this. I think Adrian Lamb decides, he overcalls, gets the run, Hanley draws the winger in. And do you know what I like about this? Keenan Brand's not going 100%. He's not going Exocet-like for the corner. If he does that, I think he shows his hand too early to Rourke and gets pushed into touch. He's going at sort of 90% here, and he's looking to suss out what the fullback's doing. Jams down on the right foot, gets his knee opened up, by the way, as he scores. I think that's the issue there that he's got.
That's good from Hanley as well, wasn't it? Centre play. Perfection with the pass and the timing. And O'Brien, oh, it's just left. So Leigh still behind, but it's 10 points to 12. And a lot less parlous position than they were in, what, just 8 or 9 minutes ago?
Yeah, be watching closely Keenan Brand over the next couple of minutes, because you don't run those off. I think he's tweaked his knee there, inside of his knee. As you said, it's a great catch and pass from Amila Hanley. And he's just off 100% there, and he's just weighing up his options. Took some scoring that. Great deal of intelligence from Keenan Brand, and Adrian Lamb will be really happy.
He doesn't look happy, to be fair, John.
Stay on side, guys.
But he's happy with the response.
It's rare that coaches do. Wakefield have got Harvey Smith coming on now, the young hooker, and Liam Hood is the man who's gone off in his place. So Leigh start again. Deep inside their own territory, but they'll wear that because it means they're getting ball back from having scored a try. Holton. Ball steal, I think. Penalty for Leigh. 3 in the tackle, never mind 2, 3 in the tackle. Count the fingers.
Yeah, I think Cameron Scott had gone and started the process, hadn't he, on his own, but then as soon as somebody else joins the tackle, that's not allowed to reef the ball. So, you know, a real pressure reliever for Leigh. So off the back of points, Wakefield now finding themselves defending in their own half again.
Here's Holton. Just an extra spring in Leigh's step at the moment. Re-enthused, refueled with ambition here.
Another good carry from Tutivaki. The subs have done really well, haven't they? They've really lifted Leigh's tempo.
Absolutely. This is Ipape.
Jay, you're off. Jay, you're short.
O'Brien. Lamb's involved again. The no-look pass that has O'Neill looking to wrestle a way through. O'Brien. Liu. It's Wakefield's defence that's just worried at the moment, because they're coming in all directions. O'Brien with a short one again, and O'Neill on the 5th. 1 to go. Ipape, they're numbering up on this right-hand side. O'Brien using a couple of... Oh, he's got in. I think he's got over. He just seemed to lift an arm and touches it down. What does he think? No try.
Penalty for a ball steal. The ball never gets to the ground, mate.
So it's going to be a ball steal penalty, he says, if it's not a try. Let's hear from the referee again.
Okay, we have a live call of no try. We're checking the grounding. How does the ball come out if it does? Okay, first of all, we need to work out, does the ball get to the ground with O'Brien in possession? Okay, you can see on that angle, the ball comes away from the hand. So it's certainly no try. Need to work out, how does the ball come away from the hand? Is it knocked out? Or is Griffin just trying to affect the tackle? I'm just going to explore all the angles. Okay, I think camera 8 is going to be the best angle. Okay, O'Brien in possession. Okay. Griffin is just putting his arm towards the ball. There is no clear pull until the ball has already come away from the hands of O'Brien. So it's going to be no try, and it's going to be a knock-on over the line. It's going to be a 20-metre restart.
Well, there you go. There you go. Referee's made his decision. That's going to be relayed. So what we expected, one way or the other, is something completely different in the end.
Really well explained as well by Chris Kendall.
They won't like this. Told you. And it's a tap back on the 20, so it's a 7-tackle count that Wakefield have. They could have been behind for the first time. Instead, they have a chance to plough a furrow downfield here.
Yeah, there was no foul play in there. The video referee explained the situation well. It was a reach to try and prevent a grounding more than anything else. No attempt to rip or pull. Correct decision.
Here is Griffin. Key part in all of that.
What? Move, hold with me, not early. Wait.
Harvey Smith, young hooker. Seen him in Super League a couple of years ago, Harvey Smith. He made his debut against Holkingston Rovers in September 2023. And of course a season in the Championship as well, when he figured quite a few times.
Hold! Release! Go straight.
Smith to the middle.
Ball. Movement square right. Wait.
Rodwell will take it on. Just knocking the wall back a yard or two, but it remains intact enough to stop him going further. And Russell, Ollie Russell, Rorke's after that. Oh, and he knew he wasn't going to catch it. I think he was trying to knock it back for one of his teammates, but his leap is prodigious, isn't it, Josh Rourke?
Yeah, it's his timing. His timing is really good. He's a really good athlete, good mover. I actually think if he'd had his time again, he maybe commit a little bit more to this. So I think he did get well above Keenan Brand.
Here's New.
Move, Harvey, over the line.
Now Pape lining up behind, trying to get themselves going here. Holton.
Two. Move, mate.
Well, they are travelling well again here, because 4 plays to go, 3 plays to go after this now, and Davis has taken his side to within 40 metres of that Wakefield line. Having been second best in the early stages, Leigh are fronting up now and are looking ominously good as Lamb dodges and holds off one defender. O'Brien gets it away. Armstrong, was that high from Johnstone? No. And a little cautious look at the referee. Again, they're just ploughing this blind side, the chip over the top. Johnstone, of course, he's out of position. And Griffin, I think, just got enough of a telling touch on that, but it came last off a Leigh player, so it's a tap back on the 20 again.
Yeah, harem-scarum stuff, short side again. A series of dominant carries from the Leigh Leopards, put him in great position. And it was a creative last play option, wasn't it, from Gareth O'Brien? Knocked back initially by Griffin, knocked on by Leigh. Again, Wakefield survive.
Russell carrying it in. Big man down the middle. The task for them. Harvey Smith. McMeekan. Little shuffle from right to left. Try and hypnotise those coming towards him, but they clinged on to full conscience. Pitts puts it back. Lino times that pass away, and it came onto it like a rocket, but Leigh hanging on as well. 2 plays to go in this set. Wakefield are well placed here just at the moment. Pitts swiftly away. Rourke again on the angle. A step back on the inside from Ollie Pratt, but 2 of them had his number. Last play. Lino Tasked with the job of putting that kick up there. O'Neill's underneath it, but it's Johnstone who gets up best and gets the pass away. Penalty.
Ollie Pratt's off. Sure, penalty. Ollie Pratt is offside.
Pratt's offside.
The 10, he then catches the ball, he becomes involved.
Active. Changed the rule this year, but even despite the change,
and by the way,
clearly active.
What a good change that's been. I've been asking for that one for a long time. So Ollie Pratt in front of the kicker. If he doesn't play a part, that's fine. But Tom Johnston's really ambitious pass does find him. He gets back involved in the play. That's the reason for the penalty. The Leigh Leopards get to clear the lines. This is end-to-end stuff, this. Yeah, Keenan Brand's going to collect the ball. He's really struggling on that leg, you know. It's no surprise to see Wakefield targeting him.
Wakefield bench looking on there. Darryl Powell in amongst them.
One, move back with me, Wakefield. Wait.
6 and a bit to go in what has been a thoroughly entertaining first half here. It really has. Credit to both sides. Ipape. He had support from Tuitavake, decided to take them on himself.
Release now.
Here comes Davis. It's Liu, O'Brien and Lamb, and pops it over the top, but Keenan Brand had already made his move. And it drifts out of play.
Do you know what? Right choice by Lachlan Lamb, and he could probably expect his winger to sit a little deeper there, you know. I think as this unfolds, you can see just how shallow Brand is. I think Brand's expecting a kick, and he'd predetermined there was a kick over the top. He actually motioned, and Lachlan Lamb's father, Adrian, looks on. I think the pass option was on. I think Keenan Brand will argue the kick option was on.
Scurried attempt to clear his line from Matty Russell. So muscular stuff again just at the moment.
Move Matt off the ball. Every step makes sense.
Russell. There's Griffin. Harvey Smith looking to clear the rock, trying to get Liu out of the way. McMeekin still going. Last play. So Lino. Oh, he's got some spin on that, I tell you. Where's that coming down? Even Johnston can't catch that, and then it's a knock-on. Well, Leigh will be very relieved that it was one of the opposition who were given the chance to catch that.
Yeah, there was no nobody with the hands in the air from the Leigh Leopards, was there? I watched that ball throughout its entire flight. It must have moved about 5 meters in the air from its original trajectory. A really difficult option for any back three to try and take. I'll tell you what, Darryl Powell and Michael Shenton to his left, they'll be really pleased with his first 40 minutes. It's not an easy place to come, is it, the Leigh Sports Village? I think they performed really well.
They bounced back into Super League, haven't they, Wakefield? They really have. Been a delight to watch in the opening few weeks. Davis to Lamb, and here's Holton, but Holton is stopped by Cam Scott, who's right in front of him. Oh, just kept the legs below the perpendicular, but that would have knocked a bit of wind out of the lungs, wouldn't it? Lamb goes out again and gets the pass away, but Armstrong can't keep hold of it. He knocks on. Bit of a pinball effect, and it's first knock on Wakefield's head and feet.
This has become a bit of a theme for Leigh, hasn't it? Late in the tackle count, short side darts, and they're finding little openings, little creases, little cricks in this Wakefield defence. That's the Vanganar tackle, just manages to avoid tipping Holton above the horizontal. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Leigh. You know, they've not gone into their shells. They've tried a couple of things, it hasn't come off. Those short side plays are really interesting. I think they're finding Wakefield on the heels at times.
Is there another try before the half-time hooter sounds? 3 and a bit minutes to go. It's a pass that Russell has to rather surrender himself to catch. Smith. Rodwell. Harvey Smith again. McMeekin laying it back. And now back to his feet. Warrington 6, Leeds 10, as you can see at half-time in that other game. So Leeds backing up that performance against Wigan from last week with a very good first half by the sounds of it this week. Lino shrugging off the attempt of Holton. Harvey Smith springing across there, darted over to get into dummy half. Russell's left foot employed again. One of his targets was the other Russell on the field. It's Vangenaar who picks it up, and it is collected again here by McMeekan, who's claiming a try. Is this an unlikely brace from Mike McMeekan in the first half? Well, only the video referee can tell us now. Try on the field.
Okay, we have a live call of try. We'll go back and check the original kick. Players to the right are onside. There's a couple that are in front. Let's just see what happens with them. The kicker stays where he is. Who's that? So the two offside players are outside the 10. So we don't need to focus on that. Everyone, all the Wakefield players in the 10 are all onside. Okay, does this touch a Wakefield hand? And if it does it go forwards? Hard to tell on that. I'm looking for any kind of change in rotation of the ball or change in the movement. See if this shows anything. Okay, that's blocked. Is it touched? Or is it just go straight through his hands? Straight through, in between, with no touch. Camera 2 is going to probably be the best angle. Just need to decide, is it touched? If we could just do this nice and slow, please. Nice and slow. Okay, given we have a live call of try, I have insufficient evidence to say if that's been touched or not. So we're just going to keep going now. Okay, it does hit his leg. So we need to check for onside players again. Okay, it goes backwards. Let's just go in tight again, check the pickup. Okay, it's a clean pickup. And it's kicked again, so we'll go back to the wide. Everyone is onside at this point. Go through to the grounding. And the ball is picked up and grounded. I've made my decision.
Let me give it and I'll tell you.
Well, what an impact Mike McMeekan is making in this first half in terms of try scoring. There can have been many occasions when he picked up two in the first half of a game, but he has done here tonight, and everybody will find out for sure in just a moment. There you go, Wakefield fans jubilant again, because their side have just extended the lead again with half-time close, and McMeekan is a hero.
Well, tonight, and I think the rest of the 2025 season, this Wakefield Trinity side are not going to die wondering, are they? Josh Rourke has been a consistent kick chase on those high box kicks. And I think, crucially, everybody who was active in that participation, including Vangenaar, who I had a question mark on at first, he was behind Ollie Russell on the initial kick, so he's okay to play a part when that ball rebounds. But this is it, putting pressure on the back three. Josh Rourke, there or thereabouts again. Vangenaar with a kick through, some real good show, some skill on show from Vangenaar and McMeekan. McMeekan especially, that pickup.
Fox in the box, wasn't he there? Mike McMeekan. And he's giving his side a 6-point lead, and if Lino can stick this over, then Wakefield almost certainly going into the break with a 2-score lead, which is some accomplishment here, where Leigh have reigned supreme. Lino settles. Full concentration, little chat with himself ahead of the attempt as well. Referee stops the clock. He's not rushing, is he? He ain't rushing. Taking all the time in the world. He kicks it end over end, and that is the end result. 18 points for Wakefield, 10 for Leigh, with barely seconds of the first half remaining.
Yeah, they had to weather a fair bit from Leigh as well, who clicked into gear midway through that first half, but they've responded in kind, and it's just ended. It's just scrappy, the first part of it. The second part of it is brilliant. But I tell you what, it underlines that desire, doesn't it, from Wakefield. Mike McMeekan bracing the first half, great performance as well.
Well, it has been a very entertaining first half here. Both sides have given us plenty to purr about, but it is Wakefield and Mike McMeekan, the star of the show, with his 2 tries, and leading by 18 points to 10. Well, it might be chilly, but as John Wells said right at the end, right at the start of the night, it's going to be red hot out there, and that's how it's proven to be. Wonderful stuff in that first half. There's still lots to come, and we'll be back to analyse that first half in just a few moments' time. You can enjoy every single game live right here on Sky Sports.
That's a great shot there. Great tackle!
This is getting fiery now. Magic Mikey strikes again.
Individual brilliance from a special player in Bevan French. Strap yourselves in. It's going to be a blockbuster.
Rugby league, truly the greatest sport on the planet.
Yep, every game live, 6 games every weekend, running all the way through to that grand final in October, of course. This is what's left this weekend. Catalan against St Helens tomorrow, 5:30. And then on Sunday, Huddersfield against Hull Kingston Rovers, Wigan against Salford, both of them 3 o'clock kickoffs. All 3 on Sky Sports Plus. Give you the chance to watch every single match live. So a reminder of what's been happening here so far tonight, and a really entertaining first half as well. Leigh 10, Wakefield 18 is that half-time score. And John Wells alongside me tonight. There's been plenty in that first half to really catch the eye, hasn't there?
Plenty to like, hasn't there? Plenty to entertain the travelling away fans. And it was Wakefield who got off to a flyer, didn't they? Out the changing rooms and kicked the front doors in. It was Ollie Russell who scored first, but good set-up play from Hood and McMeekan. The lovely little try assist from Mike McMeekan. Look at the way he gets the arm over the top of the attempted tackle of Gareth O'Brien. He scores the assist for the first. He scored the second as well, and that possession and position was offered up by Leigh on a platter. Tessie knew with an uncharacteristic error. Once in position, Wakefield didn't need asking twice. Hood again. This time McMeekan goes himself. 12 points to 0 inside 12 minutes. Short range stuff, they all count the same. That's the first of 2 from McMeekan in this first 40 minutes. The response did come a few minutes later in the shape of Amila Hanley. Great set-up work. See how Dave Armstrong holds off the Wakefield defenders. His presence in the fullback position is really key, distracts the Wakefield defence. They've got to defend a number of options. Amila Hanley was the option that Gareth O'Brien chose. 6 points to 12. And then the scores were reduced to just 2 points when Keenan Brand scored on 25 minutes. Again, last tackle option. Decided to run Hanley to Brand, and Brand just anticipates that cover defence, steps off his right, and scores a really significant try for the Leigh Leopards. It may prove to be even more significant as well, because they did not go into half-time at 10 points to 12. It was Wakefield who had the final say. And again, it came through Mike McMeekan, who finished off what was looked like a regulation end of set play. Josh Rock's been doing this all night. He's getting in the eye line, getting in some space. Some lovely work from Manganart, and then Mike McMeekan crosses. 18 points to 10, Dave. I'll say this, it's nothing less than Wakefield deserve. It's probably a little more than Wakefield, than Leigh would have hoped for. I think 18 points to 10. You don't want the visiting team getting too far ahead of you. You may back yourself with the skill you've got, but I'll tell you what, an away team on a roll like that, that's a worry.
Well, Mike McMeekan scored 2 tries from ball in hand to actually touching down. I think it's an accumulation of 4 yards, hasn't he? But take nothing away from the fact that he was there to do it in the first place. Wakefield dominating possession. Look at the difference in the completed sets there. Wakefield far and away above Leigh.
Yeah, they've been excellent, Wakefield. And Leigh, that will be the area that Adrian Lamb will be saying, look, we're applying no pressure to Wakefield whatsoever. 58% completion rate's poor.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy. Wakefield scoring, covering more metres, slightly fewer tackles as well, which you'd expect for a side who've had the ball more. And Josh Charlie in the house here tonight, not looking 100%. It's clearly not 100% because he's not playing, but hopefully we'll see him back in action very soon. Here, keeping the pressure on Ryan Hall in that constant race for top spot in Super League's all-time top try scorer. He'll have to watch on in the second half. He'll be hoping for a Leigh improvement, and we've got all that second half coming up next. Well, welcome back. We've had some entertainment on the field at half-time with all those kids. Wonderful to see that community spirit in play. And it's a half-time score of Leigh 10, Wakefield 18. If you are just joining us, Mike McMeekan with a brace. Ollie Russell with the other for Wakefield, but some wonderful tries for Leigh as well. And Myler Hanley in the 18th, and he played a hand in Keenan Brown's score as well in the 26th minute. Wakefield were actually leading by 12 points to 0 at one stage, and Leigh kind of hooked him in again, but that score by McMeekan just before the break may be meaningful in the final reckoning. Who knows? Well, a decent crowd here tonight as well, and they're here with good humour, and they'll have been entertained by what they've seen so far. Old and young alike. They start them young in these parts. There's no excuse not to be a lather. A bit of ball handling skills as well there, so there's the youth system's working well at Leigh too. Long before they're in the academy.
He's got your heart, Dave.
Well, you need a hat on a chilly night.
Oh, it's brilliant to see, isn't it? I think they do an awful lot of work here to try and bring in the next generation of fans. And you're right, they start them early.
Yeah.
They're committed. I know they do an awful lot of work in around the borough. And it's great, and they're rewarded with crowds like this, aren't they? Once again, you know, it's a really, really vibrant atmosphere here at the Leigh Sports Village. Yeah,
well, they dub it the greatest show in Super League, don't they? And we've had the lottery winners entertaining us. A band who've had a #1 hit, Lathers themselves, aren't they? The lottery winners, proud Lathers.
I think just now, though, and they'll probably settle for not even much entertainment on the field, just a couple of scores from their team, because I think they've laboured at times for this first 40 minutes. I'd be interested to see what sort of response they get in the first 5 or 10. Adrian Lamb would have had some fairly direct messaging for his charges. Number one in that is improve your completion rate. Get to the end of your sets, because I think that's really let them down the first half. Darryl Powell will be really pleased.
Absolutely. Looking for their 3rd win of the season, and their 3rd win away from home of the season as well. I mean, new feeling and new dynamics to Bellevue these days, to their home ground, but it is away from home where they have been prospering, and that's the sign of a good team. Adrian Lamb's looking full of concentration. Stern words, no doubt, at half-time. Marcus Griffith, the referee, is just preparing us for the restart. How do you see it going, John? Do you see, if the game is going to change in its dynamic, how does it change in this second half?
Well, look, Leigh tidy things up. I think they've shown enough that there's threat there. I think the one thing Adrian Lamb's not been able to do is release David Armstrong yet. Watch out if he does.
On the other, I mean, he picked out the 2 fullbacks before the start. The other fella, Rourke, at the back for Wakefield. He's had a good game, hasn't he? Really good game. We're underway, second half. How does this one play out? 40 minutes to settle this. Although, given Leigh's reputation for taking things to distance, we might be into golden point extra time. You never know. But anyway, let's see what happens in the next 40 and how things change. Ipape starting in that hooking role at the start of this second half. And this is O'Neill. And Leigh find themselves with 3 tackles gone, about 30 from their own line. Little bustle from Davis. Ipape waiting patiently here. Wakefield time to get back in a solid line, and Lamb is behind a 40, but Rourke making sure with a scamper across and a clean catch as well that it's not too dangerous, and takes Wakefield back to there.
Just loses his footing at the end of that run, but again covers the ground really well, does Josh Rourke. Matty Russell with an effervescent carry, but he gets pushed back by 3 Leigh defenders.
He's had a career, hasn't he, Matty Russell? All the clubs he's been at, Wigan and Gold Coast and Hull and Leigh and Warrington, Challenge Cup finals, grand finals in the bag. Not to mention Toronto, Toulouse and Leeds. And now he's at Wakefield. And this is Pitts, who just props it forward again. So at the end of this first set, in this second half from Wakefield's point of view, Lino will kick, Hodgson will catch, and Bailey Hodgson returns beyond the 30-metre mark. So in terms of the little arm wrestle, slight advantage Leigh, better starting position than perhaps Wakefield had.
Yeah, they need much more of that from Tessinu, though. I said earlier on in the piece that he'd made a fair few tackle breaks this year. He's averaging nearly 200 metres a game, and a third of those are post-contact.
There's a Ipape again.
But he's been quiet today.
O'Brien along the line, Armstrong looking to inject himself into the front row of the action. Ipape, Liu, Lamb, and here comes Holton. They've reached the last. They'll be looking for a telling kick here from Lachlan Lamb. Launching it high. Rourke's under pressure in terms of defenders coming his way, but again it's a very clean catch, and there was never any suggestion of otherwise there as he went up to take that. Russell bounces into Ipape. Ipape comes back for more. Helped out as well by Bailey Hodgson. Harvey Smith still on the field at dummy half. John Stone. Here's Smith. Looking to release that left-hand side if they can. Now they reach the last again. So again, it's a kick from relatively deep, and Lino just looking for the ground here. Hoping for an awkward bounce, but it's not that, and it's picked up again by Armstrong, and he's just threatening to return here with some interest, and just had his ankles tapped there by Harvey Smith. Otherwise, he was flying through.
There's a flash of what he's capable of, David Armstrong. 2 steps and he's in top gear. He's again just burst through the tackle. It's that injection of pace that causes problems, and a set restart as well now for Leigh.
Another set of 6. Here comes Lamb. Brian back on the inside again, and Davis. Well, tackles in the bag, Leigh, and they're just building a bit of pressure now. O'Brien, Lamb's involved, Hanley's involved, but he can't find a way through or a way to release the ball. Wakefield's defence is smart enough. O'Brien, Ipape, Liu to Lamb, Armstrong, and now New. 10 away. 2 plays still to go. Lamb again, offering it back to Liu, who goes on the angle, bruising a few chests as he went that way, but he manages to stop him, and Ipape goes out of dummy half, sharp as attack, but they had that covered, the Wakefield defence.
Yeah, and it's that man again, Mike McMeekan, just made sure he was in the right place at the right time. He's really effective, he's Mike McMeekan. Both sides of the ball, 2 tries, loads of work, loads of minutes.
Smith, wind him up and let them go. Russell on that occasion. Smith again. These are bruising early encounters in this second half. 5 minutes played. Nothing giving just at the moment. Lino. Catch by Cam Scott. Leigh fans finding their voice. Looking to lift their team, who are having to defend at the moment, but restricting their opponents to limited yards. They'll be happy with this because now we've reached the last play. Wakefield have to kick again from some distance inside their own half. Lino's put a bit of leather on that, and it's helped by the fumble from Hodgson. Well, all in all, Wakefield pleased with the way that finished. Leigh having to start as deep as they have done so far in this half.
Yeah, just a misfield from Bailey Hodgson has cost him the momentum. Tessie New with an offload though. Leigh back on the front foot again here.
Brand. Ipape. Hanley. He's having a go by himself, and again it's a decent weight he hits that defensive line with. Ipape comes out. Liu helps it on, and Tuitavake at pace and with power. Ipape. There's Davis. Scrambling underneath the grabbing defender. Griffin on that occasion. Here's Lamb. Another test for Rourke, who's on the right side of the field. Doesn't get near it. It bounces, and Leigh Wakefield come away with it somehow.
Yeah, it was Lachlan Lamb who'd signalled to his short side, be a kick chase team, apply some pressure, and they've got Wakefield in a corner here.
Smith. Russell. That's a good offload. That's a terrific offload. Smith. Griffin. He's powering onto that. There's a step back on the inside again here, and it's got away by Russell, Ollie Russell on that occasion. Pitts. Angled back by Chaos Fatili. And they're on the last. In this little arm wrestle that's developing in the second half, this is a slightly advantageous position for Wakefield with that kick high, but Armstrong's under no real chase pressure to catch that, and that spells danger because burst of lightning, but Cam Scott gets across to him to close things down. Here's Hodgson. Lachlan Lamb had a dummy half. Leigh trying to wind things up. Again, their fans just urging them forward here because they're struggling out of yardage just at the moment. Wakefield just exerting an influence. 2 plays to go. Pape spinning it back. O'Brien with a kick. Well, this could be interesting if it gets a spin on with a bounce, but I don't think it's going to go. It's not, and Rourke is across there. But again, it's a good clearing kick. That puts Wakefield right back on their heels again.
That's a brilliant chase from Myla Hanley and Ethan O'Neill. And that's the difference between Josh Rourke getting past the first couple of defenders. Really committed stuff for the Leopards.
Here's Matty Russell. Taken on again by Kozza. Ollie Russell looking to spin it away. Griffin's caught in possession. Smith is across there. Lino. Again, the pressure came on him. He manages to get that kick high and away. Oh, and Armstrong! He's lost it. Well, if he'd have taken that in, he looked like he might be developing something, and maybe those thoughts were in his head as he went up for that ball.
Now then, this really interesting set. I don't know why he jumped. He didn't need to jump. He wasn't under any pressure. He's left the field. Very often you can get your timing wrong when you do that. So, the Leopards have blinked first. It's been a tight first 10 minutes of this second half. This will be really significant, the most significant set of defence, I think, yet for the Leigh Leopards.
Well, Brad Dwyer's back on the field. Interestingly, it's Tuitavaki who's gone off, so Dwyer and Ipape, as we've often seen in the last couple of years, on the field together. Ipape takes on a different role under those circumstances, but they're not thinking about attack, they're thinking about defence just at the moment, because Wakefield are going to throw everything at them here. Bang it up. This is Smith, and just battered in again. Fartilli. Here comes Smith, skipping out a dummy half. Matt Meakin, who's looking for a hat-trick try, denied by some desperate Leigh defending. Smith again, it's slower to play the ball, but out it comes now. Russell gets the pass away, and towards the corner it's carried. Rourke is held up, but not far away. Johnstone has to wait. Now it's Griffin. Last play again. Tensions on edge here at the moment, because Wakefield in a wonderful position. Pitts puts it back, Lino slings it back to Rourke. Rourke with a miss-out pass. The step by Russell, but he had too much to do. He's lost the ball. Oh, the referee says no, the tackle was complete.
That's really calm defending on that left edge. Bailey Hodgson it was, didn't panic.
Discipline, boys!
You've got to anticipate the kick or the pass last play. He's done really well on his return in the first carry as well. Dominant carry from him too.
Leigh looking to lift. Oh, and the pass out of dummy half just scared them a little. This is Ipape. Springing forward, real power in his step. Looking for a quick play the ball, but they're hanging on, they're wrestling. Leigh fans desperate for another set of 6 from that. Referee says play on, as you were. Here's Dwyer. Davis. Again they hit the last. Again they'll be forced to kick here. It's back with Lamb. Rourke. Oh, that was a brave take by Josh Rourke. He had to cover some ground, and then he gets the pass away, and Russell comes charging in as well.
No, again, more classy play from the fullback. You can get caught in two minds in those situations. Decided to commit himself to it and came up with a great catch. Really well taken from Rourke.
Had to get there, didn't he? Leigh players going flying. Brad Dwyer claiming he was pushed over. Referee's having a nod of that. Here comes Pitts. Well, 13 minutes of this second half, absorbing down the middle. Not seen any real try-scoring opportunities, but both sides just buttering each other up. The attempted offload from Fartilli, but it has gone forward. There's no advantage, and Leigh get it back.
Do you know what? I think it's been an exceptional opening 12-13 minutes from Wakefield. They've been patient, they've completed 100%. That is the first little bit of impatience, over-excitement shown from the visitors. And you can cry that we may be picking it up over the mics. The crowd are absolutely baying for some offside calls. I got to say, Wakefield out treading a really fine line here with the referee.
Well, in this pendulum-like second half, swinging one way and the other, this is slight advantage to Leigh in terms of where they start the set. But it's how the finish that matters. Dwyer out. Tessinier. Dwyer again. Ipape involved. Davis. Cross comes Dwyer. Here's O'Brien. Leeds extending their lead in the other game. 14-6 they lead now, so what a couple of weeks they're having. Consistency the key for them. Maybe they're finally finding some. Here's Ipape. Had the ball stolen. Well, we saw the ball come loose. The referee put his whistle to the mouth, and he's given it as a penalty.
Yeah, so first indiscretions, both sides of the ball. Fartilli with the forced offload that went forward. and then too much in the defensive ruck there. Fourth tackle as well, late in the tackle count. You talk about that pendulum swing, that momentum swing. Are we seeing it now, just favouring the Leigh side?
Yeah, they got the scrum. It's followed up with a penalty. It's given them back-to-back sets, and it's given them excellent position as well. 4 plays to go, 5 to cover. Dwyer spinning it out. O'Brien. Lamb's got a long way to get involved there. Armstrong's given it away, and it's a try for Wakefield. Johnston with the intercept. Even if anyone was chasing meaningfully, you'd put money on Tom Johnstone to go the distance. But the truth is, there's hardly anyone in the frame. And Wakefield are given a gift, an absolute gift. And they now lead by 22 points to 10.
Oh, and you called it, Dave. It's a try the minute that landed in Tom Johnstone's hands. Is there a better sight in Super League than that man in full flight? What a response. They blinked and fluffed the lines a couple of times, Wakefield, both sides of the ball. You can see Adrian Lamb disappearing off the right-hand side of your screen. This was a pre-planned play from Leigh. And then David Armstrong just overcooked. He decided he was passing that before he'd assessed what was happening in the defence. And that was this man. Wing-heeled Tom Johnstone returns to Wakefield Trinity after a stint in the Catalan Dragons. Still got all of his pace. What a try scorer.
2 Super League tries now. It is 5 in total when you add up his Challenge Cup efforts as well. Slap on the head, and what a moment that is. And Adrian Lamb knows that. He'll feel that, because the goal is surely going to go over from Lino's boot. And when it does, then suddenly it's a 2-score lead that Wakefield suddenly have.
Yeah, and they don't look fluent either, Leigh, in attack, do they? They just look like they're forcing things a little. Yes, they're missing a couple of bodies. So Wakefield. Well, I think this visiting side have really rolled the sleeves up. They've come to play. They've had to feed off scraps at times, but I tell you what, when it counts, they've struck.
Well, who'd have thought we'd been in this situation at this stage of the game? Lino's incurring the wrath of the North Stand here by taking his time before the inevitable boot between the uprights. And what about this scoreline? Leigh 10, Wakefield 24, with very nearly an hour played.
Yeah, I didn't expect a scoreline. I thought this was going to be a really tight game. I think Wakefield they've done really well. Held the nerve. It's almost been an error-free second half. Just a couple of things in the last couple of minutes, but what a way to respond.
Well, 30 points to 16 winners at Warrington, which was a result that Daryl Powell made no secret gave him huge delight. He'd have been equally pleased with 14-12 at Leeds, and now he'll be content with 24-10 here. But there's still a job to do, because there's a sign of intent from Leeds defenders.
Sorry, Dave. We're just looking at Edmund Papi. He just lasered in, and Kais Fartili and absolutely gone for him.
Penalty for Wakefield. Myla Hanley's just getting a little irate.
Slow tackle 1, slow tackle 2.
So penalty and a chance to clear their lines.
Yeah, just getting a little fractious, isn't it? Just a little bit too much in the tackle, and then a response afterwards from Myla Hanley.
Lino with a big boot, big touch finder. Sees Wakefield start again on the halfway line here. Well, another score for Wakefield, and my goodness, as it stands, Leigh have to get across that line 3 times to win the game from here, you'd reckon. Fartili.
That's you, Killian.
Here's Linus. Vanganar banged to the ground again. Hood picks up. Pitts puts it back on the inside. Fartili. Leon Hood has a look around. 7 to his left, 6 to his right. That's the way he comes. Lino now with that skip as well. It's a good shoulder in from Tessignew to make sure Vanganar's presence is kept to a minimum. Hood puts a kick to the in-goal area. There's no one chasing. Armstrong's across there. it was never going to be a try, but they've got the next best, which is forcing Leigh to drop out underneath the sticks here.
Really good from Trinity. They kept the pressure right from then. They've ignored the efforts of Edwin Apapi, who's barreled into a couple of tackles trying to raise something from his team, and it's a cute little kick from Liam Hood. Forces David Armstrong back behind the post, and the chase is good enough. Repeat set coming.
3/4 of the game gone, 20 minutes to go. Leigh looking for the short kick. It's going 10, it eventually bounces back into the hands of Cameron Scott. He was cute there to get back in the field of play. But it has given Wakefield prime position to have another go. And they're going to have another go. Fartilli now, driving it in. Liam Hood stands and waits. He's waiting a while, it's slow again. And Hood goes for the line, he's over, has he got it down? What a big moment this is. What's the referee saying here?
Mate, it's tackle 2. We have an on-field call, a try. Just
try on the field. That heavily weighted in Wakefield's favour. Let's hear from the video referee.
Okay, we have a live call of try. Checking the grounding. Hood in possession. Okay, that camera is going to be no good. Go to camera 8. Okay, does the ball get to the ground? It's in possession. Is the ball on the ground at that point? I'm just going to explore all the angles, see if I can get anything else. Camera 1 was no good. Camera 2's no good. See if camera 5 shows me anything else. Hood in possession. And that's going to be blocked by Lamb's leg. Okay, camera 8's going to be my best angle. Okay. At this point, I have insufficient evidence to overturn the live call of try. I'm happy I've viewed the angles I need. I've made my decision.
Well, you heard it, you know what's coming next. Leigh have been hoodwinked out of dummy half. Liam Hood's going to claim a big score here and edging Wakefield closer to a huge win again. On their travels, they have been marvellous, and they continue to be so. And there's confirmation. Liam Hood, the scorer, kick to come, and this looks like it's going to be Wakefield's night tonight.
Oh, wouldn't they deserve it as well? I think they've performed admirably, and they've had that right mix, that right balance, haven't they, between skill and brute strength. I think Cam Smith does extremely well there, just to have the patience to let the ball cross the 10. And then Liam Hood, all the guile, back on for his second spell. Harvey Smith did a great job in his absence, deputising for him. But refreshed, reinvigorated Liam Hood. Spell number 2, try number 2 for Super League in 2025. And boy, could that be an important one.
Well, this is again another big kick here. Liam Hood puts it over. We were talking about the 3-score lead. This is going to be a 4-score lead. So he will again take his time. Plenty of patience. Wonder what he's muttering to himself. Keeping calm, keeping cool. Rocking backwards and forwards, striking it well. The flags are up. 5 out of 5 for Mason Lino tonight. It's a 10 out of 10 performance for Wakefield, who are leading by 30 points to 10 at Leigh.
Yeah, 30 points away from home that's a great result, whoever you're playing. You know, at the Leigh Sports Village, I think that's, you know, you can mark that up a little bit. And for Leigh, I mean, that's, you know, as it stands now, that's the second time in 2 games they've conceded 30 points. And we've still got a quarter of the game to go or thereabouts.
Well, as short kickoffs go, that was pretty good. And it's collected by Owen Trout. And that is exactly what Leigh needed. If they are going to find a foothold back in this game, find a way back into this game. We've seen some dramatic matches here down the years. Big leads changing hands. Remember Castleford here last year looked as though they were home and hosed, and Leigh got back, or was it the other way around? It was swung dramatically one way anyway. So Leigh will be fueled with self-belief. but they have to score 4 times to win the game. Here it comes, Lamb with a short pass. This is where it starts, into the hands of Frankie Holton. Exactly what Leigh needed off the very next set. They find a route back into the game. Well, there's try 1, another 3 needed.
And it was a great striding run from Frankie Holton. Missed a few games, hasn't he? Back after a 4-match absence. That's a really crucial score at a really crucial time for the home side. It re-injects a bit of enthusiasm into this crowd. And your main man, Lachlan Lamb, provides the try. Brogan sets it up, and then Lamb just through the front door. And the big, long, striding giraffe of a man, Frankie Holton. He said they needed 4, 1 down, 3 to go.
Second of the year from Frankie Holton in all comps. O'Brien, they're not taking any time here, because even though we've got 16 minutes left to play, they might need every second. O'Brien swings that boot just as they need to score tries. They need to add the 2. He's missed that one. So 16 points, it's still a 3-score difference, but he can't miss too many of those.
Now, this is a nervous home support looking on. Adrian Lamb has made some headway on the scoreboard. Wakefield in no rush whatsoever to get this game restarted. They've been slow timing, it feels, for quite a while now. Mason Lino taking every single second available to him with those conversion attempts.
Well, the clock is stopped, but the slowness does take a little bit of momentum out of the evening, doesn't it? Just dims the crowd a little. Keeps Leigh stationary for a few seconds longer. Here comes a restart, Lamb with a catch. And the trumpets blaring as Owen Tran goes clattering forward. O'Brien. Ipape. Hitting that line hard. Leigh fans again baying for some kind of justice. Pick up from O'Brien. Oh, it's a miscommunication. Lamb was never expecting that. O'Brien trying to get an impossible pass to him, and what they've done is they've given Wakefield position and possession back again here.
Right, it's Dwyer, isn't it? I've just got a little bit too excited. He saw Lachlan Lamb just flash by. Do you know what? I think Lamb had overrun it. It's the right thing to do, supporting your player, but wrong area of the field to try that.
Picked up by Hood, driven in again by Rodwell. Well, this might kill the mood, certainly amongst the home fans, if Wakefield can get over here. Oh, it's a poor pass, and it's chipped up, and O'Brien now will get it away, and Lamb helps it on its way, and here comes Bailey Hodgson, but it's a very quickly recovering defence that gets in his way. Scott had to get back urgently to slow things down. Here's New. Tell you what, John, this ain't over yet.
No, it's Leigh they're not lying down, are they? All headline stuff here. And 3 really powerful carries, an offload from Holton.
Armstrong, a little swirl and a curl. Dwyer ahead of him. So it's Dwyer, and here comes Lamb. And looking right, O'Brien. Hanley, quick hands had to be, but he's thrown it behind his own man.
That was really good defence from Tom Johnstone. He'd read that really well. They had a man down on that long side. He's wedged in and really disrupted the play, forced the early pass from Hanley, the man in possession.
Those are Leigh's next fixtures coming up. Return game against Wakefield, of course, next week in the Challenge Cup. They refamiliarise themselves again. It's back with New. New now spinning it back to Ipape. Ipape sees there's a bit of a gap behind there because Johnston's a long way away, but the ball is bouncing awkwardly. Brand somehow, well, I was going to say somehow kept it in play, but the touch just said he hasn't. So Wakefield have it back.
Yeah, you just feel like, I know it was the last tackle, but whether there was a better option perhaps for them into space, but Keenan Brand's just placed a foot on the line as he kicked the ball back on the inside to try and keep that ball in play.
Well spotted, Touchy. Wakefield looking to calm things down a little here. Matty Russell runs it in. 12 and a bit minutes to go. Just to underline the mathematics of the situation. Good effort again from Trout.
Big
Underline
shot.
the mathematics of it. 16 points of difference, 3 tries, 3 goals. Leigh need to win it. Darryl Powell knows his side are in the box seat. In by Rodwell.
Oh, that's you.
Hood searching that blind side. As Wakefield's coming ups in the next few weeks. Well, they will not be afraid of Saints away and Catalan away, and they'll be looking forward to Castleford away, given their form when they've been on their travels. Armstrong. Here's O'Brien. Heavy carry, good carry as well.
Yeah, really strong carry from Bailey Hodgson. He's really keen to get his side on the front foot. Lamb short side.
Lamb again and New. There's nobody outside him because Hodgson was involved, but New doesn't need him on the outside. He's got O'Brien there, Dwyer rather again. But it's been a knock-on from Hodgson. There might be a captain's challenge here.
By Wakefield.
Wakefield knock-on.
Wakefield are challenging the decision.
And Wakefield are going to challenge. So the referee's giving it against Wakefield, but it's Wakefield who are challenging that decision. Video referee here.
Okay, Wakefield are challenging the decision of a knock-on. A knock-on's been given on field. So Dwyer passes the ball. It's touched there by Wakefield, but that's not backwards towards his own line. So it's goes backwards in relation to the ground. You see it's touched on the line and it's clearly knocked backwards. So we'll run it through, see if there's anything else. Again, that goes backwards towards his own in goal. We'll check the pick-up. It's all backwards. Okay, does he then lose it on the ground? So it's all backwards. Touches there, and he uses the ground to control the ball. It's challenge unsuccessful.
Thank you, mate.
So the decision remains as it was, with the explanation there you heard from Chris Kendall.
It's the pull forward on the floor.
The second touch was a knock-on.
Get over it.
Referees justified, and Leigh have it back again with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think it was worth challenging. I don't think they expected the outcome to be changed, but what it does do is it just interrupts the flow of the Leigh Leopards. It was a timely use of the captain's challenge. These players are getting a bit better at understanding how this can influence the flow of a game here.
Out it comes, Ipape spinning it out. Lamb, Amila Hanley.
Surrender!
5 plays to go. Armstrong's up there at dummy half. Does he fancy a dart from there? Just feels the ball back to the middle. And O'Neill goes crashing forward. Leigh have to score on this set. You'd fancy if they are going to find a way back in. There's still a little bit of time to play with. Louis Brogan, the local lad, hauled down. Lamb, Ipape rather. And this is Lamb, and on its way. Hanley now, they're trying to create numbers, but look at how Wakefield have reorganised themselves, but look again and see Hanley just drifting past them.
Move down the line!
5 out. Ipape. Here's O'Brien. This is Lachlan, Lamb and New. The good solid carry and good footwork. He gets it away. Armstrong helps it on. Holton now, but Wakefield all over him. Absolutely all over him. Can't get it away. Now it's the last. Lamb again. Chipping towards the corner. Up go the arms. I think Johnston got a touch. Knock on. Might even be an offside. It is a knock on. Leigh have it back again.
Well, it's desperate stuff, isn't it, from both sides? Leigh refusing to let this ball die. Wakefield refusing to let their line be breached. They understand the significance of this period of the game.
He knows that time is ticking by. For all the pressure, they need points. In it goes. This is Armstrong. Armstrong on the angle. Wakefield's defence deals with that danger. Another set of 6 because of the delay in the tackle. New picks it up. Liu twists in, trying to get the arms free. Not allowed to do so. Ipape again. Armstrong lining up to that left-hand side. It goes wider still to New. But again, the defence is exemplary at the moment. Cam Scott on that occasion. A pick-up and a go from Hodgson. But they're going through tackles at a number here. And they're not coming up with what they want. Ipape again. Searching back towards his left-hand side. Louis Brogan put down. Now we're down to 2. Ipape again. Here comes Lamb. Back on the inside. Trout crashes in. But Pitts makes sure that he's going to carry on that momentum to the floor. And now comes the last. Ipape spinning it out, Brogan along the way. Lamb now looks for a ball over the top. And Johnston has intercepted that miraculously, and for the second time in the game he will go the distance, and this time it is a match winner underneath the sticks. I think we'll be having a look at this again, because there was more than a hint of a knock-on as he took that catch. What's the referee saying? He is saying
I've got no
try on the field.
I thought he had it. First glance, I thought he had this. Take a close look at this one.
It was a desperate dive, but what's the judgment? Let's hear from Chris Kendall again.
Okay, we have no tackle. We have a live call of no try. Referee's ruled that Johnson has lost the ball. Okay, does he take possession before the ball hits the ground? Or does he use the ground to control the ball? This might be a good angle to look at. Has he taken possession before it touches the ground? Just going to use camera. I'm just going to explore all the angles. See if I get a better view on anything else. Okay, does Johnston take possession of this ball before it touches the ground? Go nice and slow at this point. Takes possession there, and then okay, at this point he has taken possession of the ball. He's already taken possession. There's nobody on him, so he's entitled to then get up and carry on playing. We'll run it through to the ground in. And the ball is grounded. I've made my decision.
Well, Leigh hearts would have sunk when they saw the video referee going to the ultimate conclusion of that. This is going to be a try. Tom Johnstone with a miraculous catch. How did he get there to get hands on ball? But he did, and then the rest was fairly obvious. The 80 metres, always going to do that. Second try of the night. He's covered some distance, and he's given his side now definitely a winning lead. 2 competition points and a magic play from Tom Johnstone. His second intercept, his second 70, 75 metre dart. But there's no question, once it gets into his hands, that he's going to cover the distance. But I think we undersell sometimes just how smart these defenders are, because that wasn't a tip to knock a ball down. That was a tip to give himself the opportunity to do this, which is race away again, open those legs up and show us what he does best. He covers ground like nobody else in Super League, Tom Johnstone. Well, it's going to be their biggest points haul of the season so far, Wakefield. Well, that is of secondary importance at the moment. The fact is, it's a 3rd win away from home a win at Leeds, a win at Warrington, a win at Leigh. You do that, you mean business.
Absolutely you do. And Mason Leigh will take all the time in the world once again. I think just a comment on Tom Johnstone. I think where Leigh were on the scoreboard, he knew that that fifth play was going to be a run. They were going to chance their arm for a try there and put it through the hands.
Lino sticks it in. 36 points to 40.
And I think that plays into the equation with how he positions himself in defence. I think he knows here that Lamb and company are going for a fifth tackle run option. It's set up as such, and he puts himself right in the middle, and as you can see, tips up, doesn't try and knock the play down, tips up and gives himself every opportunity, streaks away, and that's the match winner. You are watching the match winner right there.
Well, Leigh have got to go short. It's game over, you'd think. It was a knock on by Tom Johnstone. Don't need a video replay for that one. And Leigh will get possession back again, but 5 minutes to go, 22 points the difference. There simply isn't time for Leigh to make any more influence on this match as a contest.
To come back to your point, Dave, you say you go to these big teams. These teams are expected to be in the mix at playoff time as a new entrant to Super League for 2025, and you knock off scalp after scalp after scalp. People can't do anything but take you seriously.
So John Wells will have the pleasure of picking the player of the match. I'm sure he's putting his thought to it at the moment. In the meantime, Ipape looking to deliver something here. O'Brien across the line, and Trout carries it in, and with some intent as well. Ipape. Here's O'Brien. Spinning a 12, but Wakefield are still eager in defence here. They don't want to concede any. Ipape dancing out, going short. O'Neill trying to bully his way over the line, but they're waiting for him. 4 or 5 defenders there, drag him to safety. Leigh retain possession, but they're going to go back to the 10-metre mark. Ipape spinning it back. Here's Lamb. Lamb now hurls one over the top. It's another interception, but this time Matty Rowe, I was going to say, didn't have a clear run, but he's made one for himself inside the swinging arm of Ipape.
And they've got to go for that, Leigh, haven't they? They have to throw these balls now, and it's been anticipated by Wakefield. There's a little bit of cramp, you think, from Matty Russell, maybe buying another couple of seconds, but well, this is game done, game in the bag. What a really successful night for Trinity.
Are wingers allowed to get cramp?
Blimey, I tell you what, the modern-day winger does a boatload of work. I think both Johnstone and Matty Russell have both rolled the sleeves up at the right times. I mean, Johnstone's put some stardust on it as well, hasn't he? But they get through an awful lot of work these days.
Here's Hood. Still looking for some hard work to be done here. Griffin. Still alive. Hood.
Surrender! Stand!
Reach. And a grab by Rodwell. 3 minutes to play. Do Wakefield have another punch to deliver here? It's taken on by Ollie Russell. Puts it up in the air. Johnston's trying to time his run there, but the leap is very good by Keenan Brand. And Leigh have it back, but penned very deep inside their own half.
You asked me about player of the match, Dave, and it's been a brilliant team performance. I think Mason Leigh shown up really well. Tom Johnstone with a couple of tries, Mike McMeekan. But for me, the man who stood out is Wakefield's number 13, captain. 80-minute performance. He's been on the field from day one. I think he's really held that middle together this evening. Jay Pitts is my idea of the Betfred player of the match. I think he's had an outstanding game in what has been a brilliant team performance.
Well, he's one of those whose line goes back to Wakefield's last involvement in Super League. Jay Pitts. And he's John Wells' Betfred man of the match tonight, player of the match. Kick is long. Rourke comes out and catches.
Move now, Ethan!
And Wakefield just winding themselves up again here. Last set, you'd think that they have ball in hand. Hood away. Here's Matty Russell. Wakefield fans are in terrific voice at the moment. Hood again. Couple of plays to go. Hood. Oh, and a step almost through by Hamlin Ueli. This will be the last. It'll flick away. Back it comes to Russell again. Tries a little double pump and then the offload. He does terrifically well. And it's going to be a search for the line. And has the player of the match going to get the ball down? No, he's not, but he offloads it. And it is a Wakefield score. It is a Wakefield score. They have got themselves to 40 points. Would you believe it? Well, a real hard work done. Ollie Russell, I think it was at the end, who got on the end of that.
That was a brilliant piece of play, wasn't it? It was just keeping that ball alive. Ollie Russell managed to get the ball back on the inside, and then the ball's not held. The ball's still up in the air. The player's stationary, but the referee is the judge that the tackle is not affected. Ball carrying arm not touching the ground, and it's just it's a really late offload. I mean, blimey, you can see why the Leigh fans and the Leigh players are upset about that. Looked like all momentum had stopped. Looked like he was tackled, but look, Wakefield aren't going to ask any questions. They'll take those extra points.
Well, the Hooter sounds in the background to confirm this Wakefield win. Jay Pitts, the player of the match, very much involved in that. He's putting on a plate for Ollie Russell to finish, and Mason Lino looking for his 7th successful kick of the night, by the way. 7 out of 7 if he puts this over. Lino settles. There's not too many in that north stand to try and put him off. This occasion, oh, he's missed it. He spoilt his perfect assault on his goal-kicking duties. The sound effect in the background is as reflective of Leigh's performance as it is of that missed kick. But what a performance here tonight. Ollie Russell capping it all off, but what a performance, especially in that second half from Wakefield.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they weathered the storm very early on in that second half. They went in 8 points in front. Weathered the storm from Leigh, the inevitable response that they got following a dressing down, in all probability, from Adrian Lamb in the changing rooms. And then they got that first try from Tom Johnstone and just held things together, didn't they? I thought they were extremely professional, diligent in the way they went about the work. Wasn't perfect, but it was good enough this evening. And Leigh, disappointed, they go back-to-back defeats, conceding 70 points in the process.